Afternoon.
Like,
Guys were in shape. They had some recall. Obviously, we got to polish up on some small things, but for the first day, not bad.
You guys, did not report list. Have you had any conversations with him? What can you tell us about that?
Well, we're going to talk about the players that's here. He's not here. We'll deal with that internally. And obviously, he's on the did not report list, and we'll go from there.
Do you have any indication, though, if he's going to be here?
I don't speculate on anything.
You had Tristan as pretty much a full participant today. Were you expecting that? Were you surprised to see that? How did it make you feel?
No, I'm not surprised to see it. He loved the game. He loved the play. He loves his teammates, and he did a good job today.
And for him to do less if you guys didn't pass, or is he going to do everything for the team?
Oh, he's rolling.
Todd, you've talked about how much you like the depth at outside linebacker. If you didn't have Gregory, are you okay with the people you have, or will you guys make a move to kind of replenish the depth a little bit there?
Well, we've never had him to begin with. He hadn't been here, so we've been okay with the depth we got, and we got some guys that can play, and we're going to get them ready to play.
When you signed him, when you brought him in, was there any reason to think that the commitment wasn't there, where this would be happening, he isn't here?
I don't have any more speculation on Gregory.
You had a lot of production, it looked like, at least from the eyes, from that linebacker group today. It looked like Anthony Nelson screamed in for a sack. You had some good pressures by JTS and Yaya Diaby. What did you see out of that group today that impressed you?
The fact that they knew what to do mentally was big for me. I'm not going to give them credit for sacks and shorts and T-shirt because the linemen don't have things to grab, and I'm not going to give him that. But he knows what to do. He's where he's at. He's been doing that since he's been here. He's unassuming, but he always makes plays, and we expect that from him. But on the first day, I'm not going to give nobody a gold star.
You guys signed Gregory in April, and then in June, we find out about the lawsuit against the league, the Broncos. Did you guys have any indication when signing him that was coming down the pike?
Again, I'm done with the Gregory questions.
What's the competition level, Todd, up front on the offensive line? And any thoughts at all about moving out to left guard instead of right guard?
Not at this time. We're going to move some guys around as we get going in camp just in case of emergency. We do that anyway. We'll see how the battle pans out, and we'll try to put the best people where they belong.
How different is the feeling going into this camp opposed to last year when you had Baker Mayfield and Trask kind of battling? There was a lot of question marks maybe with the pieces that you were going to have in place, but a little more comfort coming into this year?
Well, Baker has the keys to the bus, and he's driving it, and he's comfortable. We're comfortable with him. We're both in a great place right now. He has to run the offense. We've talked about this as far as just getting the ball out where he needs to get the ball out and understanding the offense and making the correct checks, and I think he's taken it upon his shoulders. He's came back in great shape, and we expect him to do that, but it's a lot more stability there than there was last year.
You said you were really excited about the competition between Bredesen and Opeta for the left guard spot. What do each of those guys bring to that?
Well, they're both similar. They're both very powerful, very smart players, and they get off the ball. That's what's going to make it a great competition.
Todd, you've had so much continuity on defense really since you've been here. To have Carlton gone, to have Devin gone, to have Shaq gone now, three kind of leaders, if you will, at the three different levels of your defense really since the Super Bowl team. How do you feel about the leadership now on that side of the ball?
I mean, I feel great. We still got Levante, we still got Vita, we still got Winfield, obviously, and the guys that taken their places Zion has started 9 games last year. He's played. KJ got a taste last year. He's a natural leader for us. Joe's been here for us for a while, and we got some hungry young guys at those positions. Like, when you have a lot of good players, you're either going to lose some to free agency or some to retirement or some to injury, and you got to have to start having somebody back behind them. I think Jason did a good job getting guys in here that can play and step in at the right time. They may not be the household names that you're used to, but as the season goes on, you're going to get to know them very well.
Do you expect KJ to step up and take more of a leadership role and maybe kind of get a C on his chest by the end of training camp?
Well, the players vote on the C's. We got a lot of great guys that's deserving of that, but KJ's been a leader since he's been here. Even when he wasn't starting, he's been a leader. He's a natural leader. He's very vocal. He's probably the most talkative guy on the field. Hopefully, I hope this never happens in camp. If they get into a fight, I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be him because he does most of the talking about it, and we got to keep a good eye on that.
One day in shorts, but the chemistry that Baker has with Mike Evans just kind of shows up, right? And what kind of shape is Mike in, and how does he look coming into his 11th season?
Well, the chemistry started last year. They both kind of know each other pretty well by now. Mike came back in great shape. I mean, he looks just like he did a year ago. He's a professional. He loves to play the game. He knows what time it is. He knows when to come back and do things the right way, and he's been doing that his whole career, and that's what makes him great.
You have the whole offseason is kind of working, implement this new offensive system that he's brought here. Is it second nature to the guys now as they open up camp, or is it still a lot of thinking out there?
Oh, there's a lot to learn. We just put in the basics. You know, there's so many technical things you have to go with in this offense, but from the base part of it, from when minicamp and OTAs were, they came a long way, but there's still so much more to put in it. You just can't put it all in the spring.
You're on your third offensive coordinator in 3 years. The last 2 years, the running game has not been where you wanted it to be. What gives you the belief that it can thrive with Liam Cohen calling the plays now?
Well, Liam's calling it. He's not blocking it. We got to block it. You know, he's got to block the plays. We want to be better in the running game, obviously. We have new coaches down there. Hopefully with the scheme and the things we've put in and the players we've gotten, we can get better at that as camp goes on, and it's something we want to see. But we want to be balanced, and we want to do what's right to win the game. But obviously we don't want to be last in the run.
We saw your address of the team last night at 5:30. Good speech. I think, you know, every team says that their goal is a Super Bowl, and that's true. Is it different? Does it feel different to you when you say it can't just be the playoffs? We got to keep our eye on the Super Bowl. Is that different than any other year that you've coached here?
It's no different than any other year. You got to set a tone at the start of training camp, and nobody wants to shoot for just a division title. That doesn't do anything for us. We're in this to win the big thing. They got to see the big picture, but there's a lot of small steps along the way that we got to take. But our focus, ideally, is that's where we want to go. So we're talking about going from good to great. It starts there, but we start at square one, and we got a lot of baby steps to go before we get there. But the guys understand that, and that's what we're working towards.
Todd, what is the first day of training camp and practice mean to you? Do you get the butterflies, or is it extra pep in your step just after going through this for as many years as you've done?
It's always great for me, especially when you have younger guys. You know, it's exciting. It's trying to see how the team can come together, the coaches can come together as a group. So it's always exciting to see what kind of pieces you have to move, what kind of adjustments you have to make, what kind of technique things you have to work on from a daily basis, as long as we're moving towards that goal. So the first day is always exciting for the coaches.
Mayfield got his contract, so have you noticed any change in his drive, his motivation, that chip still on his shoulder? Any changes in him since he signed that
probably
contract?
got a bigger chip now. Baker's going to be the same every day. He works his tail off to be the best he can be. The guys believe in him. We run through a brick wall for him. I don't see any change.
Pretty pleased how guys came in condition-wise, or you're just talking about Mike Evans, but overall feel pretty good.
Probably the most in shape we came in probably about 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
Thanks.
We got KJ Britt next.